for episode 129 of Tattoo Collecting 101, right here on Guy Atchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Network, a community for tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and all those who are curious about the world of tattooing. We stream out almost every day of the week, so be sure to share it out with all your friends, and as well as check out our professional development courses from over 20 world-class tattoo artists at reinventingthetattoo.com. If you haven't joined us here at Reinventing before, we aim to educate and inspire one another to create better art and tattoos, to leave the community a better place than how we found it. You can find all these shows on our Roku channel, as well as all your favorite podcast platforms. So just go to search for Reinventing the Tattoo, and you'll find us on all your platforms there. Real quick, just want to say thank you to all our sponsors who make this show possible. So thank you to World Tattoo Events, which has the largest, most comprehensive resource of tattoo conventions going on in the world right now, as well as Tattoo Now, technology for tattooers. They're the leading edge in professional development, management, and digital tools of all levels for tattooers. Also want to say thank you to our affiliates at the Fireside Tattoo Network and the Apprenticeship Diaries. And lastly, just thank you to Guy Atchison. He's the founder and inspiration behind the Reinventing the Tattoo community and makes it all possible. So you can go to guyatchison.com to get your copy of the Biomech Encyclopedia, custom coil machines, paintings, and instructional DVDs. And if you're enjoying the knowledge we are putting out, be sure to share it with a friend. And on to Ben.
On to me.
Hey,
There we go.
there's a lot
Kyle,
of
that was wonderful.
there
You didn't even
was.
like hiccup or stutter or
There
nothing.
was a few, but yeah.
Oh, there were some shenanigans in the background, I heard, but we'll blame Ben.
I wasn't doing it. I was
No, Ben
fine.
was good this time. He was on his best
It
behavior.
wasn't even me.
This time.
This 98% of the time. Thank you. I'm a goddamn angel.
90%, 98% the other time fucking me up.
No. I'm not. It's not my fault. You're weak and frail and can be distracted easily.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That is not your fault.
I am kidding, of course.
Right.
Oh, fun. Fucking on the road again.
Always on the road. You know.
Bunchies out there on the road again.
It's okay.
That's a good place to be,
Travel-
though.
doing
Ohio's
my
kind of
thing.
shitty right now.
I mean,
got
I
warm
don't
today.
mind Ohio. I've just really had a lot of stuff going on in my personal life lately. So this few days that I kind of took off to get out of town was a well-needed break. So
Take a
kind of
deep
just kind of
breath.
decompressing while I had a space in between appointments. And then the other thing is we are getting incredibly close to Hell City. So I figured
Ramping
this was my-
up.
Yep. I figured this was probably my last chance if I needed to decompress that I was going to get. So yeah,
We
just
are
kind of
we
like
are already in go mode here. We
Yeah.
just spent. I mean, I've been here since what, fucking 3:30.
yeah, that's when I
Whatever
talked to you.
stuff, and it's it was an impromptu meeting. It happened to be that a lot of the people were here, and it just
Mhm.
happened to be like, well, fuck it, let's talk about it.
Sometimes
Uh,
that's the best, most productive meetings we have around the warehouse are the impromptu ones where it's like we all have the thing on our mind and we all just happen to like come together in a moment
Right.
and all the discussion happens. Like we don't actually have like board meetings or like shop meetings.
God.
It's just like it
Don't
just
let the
kind of
secrets
happens very
out.
well, I think it's a good thing that it happens so organically like that. Like, you know, we talk all the time about our tattoo family and it's of such that like we don't even really need to organize meetings because we're just there all the
There.
time.
Well, it's easy when
Yeah.
everybody's plugged in.
Yeah.
When
Well, and
everybody's there, there's not much to explain because you heard the conversation that started this decision. So like it's
Mhm.
nice.
So, like, as we get close to Hell City, like obviously we see Brian more. Brian's in and out a little bit more often.
Mick is here
So-
right now, packing up sound equipment because I
we
had to
should-
stop doing that to come to this.
If he's up to it, you should make him come and holler at us.
I don't think that Brian is going to stop doing what he's doing if I offered him.
He's pretty laser focused right now.
He's got
Oh, that's
Brian.
Brian.
He's got Brian face going, and I don't even want to. You know,
Well,
you've seen Brian face. Laser.
I see what you guys are doing. You know what I need is some gummies. I have some
Ooh.
delicious gummies. Where'd I put them? Watcha.
I am.
Ooh. Ooh, I like them night crawlers. So
Um,
I was just getting able to take a glance at the fucking itinerary for this year, and Hell City is stacked this year.
there's a lot going on. I actually
Like-
like throughout the show have some specific shout outs and such I'm supposed to sprinkle in, but like I'm gonna be kind of like, for Hell City, I'm usually like floating around and like wherever I'm needed, I will run there or I'll grab the cable and run it to who needs it, or I'll find the adapter or I'll like know the person who knows the answer for the question, track them down, get the answer, bring the answer back. Like I don't know how I
may have volunteered you for your amazing craftiness just today.
what do I need to craft?
Well, I think that that conversation would probably be best had off air, just in case it doesn't go down that way. We don't
Oh.
upset people. But
Okay.
yeah, I volunteered you already today to help with the little problem.
Okay,
So
well, I know one of the things I'm going to be doing all weekend, those of you that were at Health City last year, if you were like facing the main stage off to the right-hand side, the corner opposite the AV area, I'll have the tattoo collecting area. So if you want to come share your stories, I think we're going to set up pretty much the same set that you guys are sitting with right now. We might have
Nice.
like a different table in between, but I think we're going to take I would like to. I'm brainstorming aloud with you right now, but I'd love to take both of those chairs, maybe my little table from my basement that we can use as a monitor or my, and if anybody wants to come and share their stories after the competitions, anybody that we talk to, we'll have a little area there. And then in addition to that, Lauren likes to do the tattoo tours. So this year she's actually doing tattoo collection documentation for Worldwide Magazine. So if you would like to, if you're a tattooer or a collector, definitely be sure to link up with Lauren so that
I want to be first.
I mean, do it.
Sign up.
Tell her I'm already at the top of the list.
So that's going down. So there's going to be a lot of, Hell City is Hell City, but in addition to that, this year, there's going to be, I think, a little bit more focus on the collector if we have anything to do about it. So, obviously, the tattoo competitions at Hell City are some of the steepest in the whole industry. Like, the all
Most
around
qualified
awards.
judges.
Yeah, they're pretty coveted awards. I was actually talking the other day. We were talking about like how special Hell City trophies are to a lot of tattooers. Like as a collector, it meant a lot to me to win best overall female, and it's just one of those things where like it was a goal and it's been accomplished, but it was a goal for a reason. But one of the cool things about when I like, let's say like when I was working up with Sean Peters at Eclectic in Michigan, he's got trophies and trophies and trophies. Sean is a phenomenal tattooer, and like in the realm of biomech, like he's up there. He does really, really good work. So he's got trophies galore. He's got, the bookshelf we've got upstairs that's got like all of Derb's trophies through the years and all the like thank you for judging plaques and things like that. Sean has one of those in the basement that nobody sees, but he has his Hell City trophies right by the front door as soon as you walk into the shop. So I'm not saying Hell City is the only show like that, but it is definitely, it's
it is the staple. It is the example. It is the it is what other shows strive for. And that's why there's a lot of pride in our crew.
I feel like a lot of times we talk about Hell City and it's just so like we're in it all the time and we are part of the team, and we talk about it, we see it, we live it day in, day out, we see the whole rigmarole all year long. We're close enough to the magic that we can see behind the curtain, but Hell City really is, if I let's rewind. Before I even knew Derb, before like I knew who he was, but like we weren't in the same social circle yet. I was just a little tatter tot. Like I didn't have my own studio yet. And Hell City was the show that I looked forward to every year. Motor City and Detroit, and then Hell City were the two staple shows that I've been to every single year of my career. And even if I wasn't affiliated with Derb, even if I didn't work at Red Tree, I would still go to Hell City every year because it's the best collection of artists. You know, like Derb has a talent for curating the right people for his event. Like, not only is he curating talent, but there's also a vibe. You know, everybody's hardworking, everybody's optimistic and upbeat. You know, there's not really a Sour Patch Kid in the mix. You know what I mean? Like, if you're working at Hell City, it's a privilege, and it's a thing that that any artist that works there should be proud of. And then, like, for collectors, you know, when we gather on a stage like we do at Hell City, it's like it's different than other shows because, like, for one, Derb does the card system now. You know, for years he had the like high-tech sliding scale, super fair, but you know, through all the research, it comes down to the same winners, even if you do it the high-tech way or if you're just giving cards and votes to the best tattoos. And the way that he does it now, we'll have 25 or 30 tattooed people on stage together, plus the judges. So you're talking 35 people on stage that have like sweat just the same and cried just the same and traveled to get our tattoos. And we've scrimped and saved and borrowed and did all the things to be able to afford to pay our tattooers. And that's the time that, like, yeah, we're getting together to show our work off because we're proud of it, but there's this like camaraderie that happens when you're in that group of people that are all so equally proud of their work. You know,
there's only a couple times you get to be fully immersed in that environment. There's only a couple times a year that level of comfort, that level of complete security in who you are and what you do. Got me, Fog. Fuck you.
Sorry, Ben. I wasn't trying to make you emotional.
No, it's our space to let our fucking flags fly.
Mhm.
It really is, and that's the vibe. That's what makes Hell City different, because everybody there understands that this is that safe place to be able to come and be yourself, regardless of who that is, what kind of art you love, what kind of styles of tattoo you have. It's about the environment of being accepted. You can't implement that. That's something that happens on its own.
Yeah, it's a pretty magic thing. I don't know why I feel so compelled in this moment to talk about specifically what makes Hell City special, but we do spend a lot of time talking about it nonchalantly, but I don't know if we really spend enough time breaking down why it's such a privilege and why it's so special to be part of Hell City and part of Derb's team. But it really is, you know, there are other phenomenal conventions around the world, but I think, you know, all the teamwork that goes into this. Yeah, all the teamwork that goes into this, all the love that goes into it. Like, if it wasn't for the love of tattooing and tattoo collecting, why would we even have conventions to begin with? You know, Derb's smart enough and good enough with money that, like, it's not even about making money anymore. You know what I mean? All of these other conventions, I mean, it is a business. It is a business. But it has to make money to put back into the machine. And that's how it's gotten so big the way that it has. But the thing is, it's more than just a business. For this convention, for this show, it is more than just a business. It's more than just an opportunity to make money. Derb could do other things to make way more money and work way less hard. But this is a project of passion that, like, the whole team, you know, Derb has multiple managers that help make it happen every year. And then outside of that, you know, there's photographers, there's videographers, there's all the people that come and like help plug in extension cords. Do you know how many extension cords it takes to put on a show like this? Thousands. I'm not exaggerating.
One of our largest road cases is only extension cords. One of the largest things we take is only extension cords.
The heaviest
Like-
too. Hmm.
Yeah, it is one of the heaviest. But yeah, it's insane. I always loved the orchestration of it all. This was an empty room, and bam, 24 hours later, we are throwing a fucking bash. Like I've
It is
always
pretty
been a
cool
fan
to-
of throwing the party as opposed to going to the party. So being able to be involved and watch it all come together and watch the conductors just and festival. It's amazing.
And you know, the nice thing is, I feel like at this point, I don't want to be like Derb could disappear and the team could just do the thing. But like in reality, everybody on the team has been doing their job long enough that like I think that's one of the things that makes it run so smoothly. Like even when there are little things that pop up that are unexpected, like everybody can
still
just handle it in
have-
their own
Yeah.
corner. You know what I mean?
We
Like,
still have staff switch, and we still have people come and go, and we still have, but at the core of the show,
mhm.
it's rock solid. And
Yeah,
that
we've got like the helpers. Like let's just call like the blanket crew the helpers. 90% of those come back every year.
right.
Like there might be a few new faces, but the new faces are probably people who have been helping around the shop or
Well, they're friends of.
present. Yeah. So
I'm making
it's
my
not
roommate
just like,
volunteer,
I was wondering if Corey was going to help again.
forcing him. He has no
But
choice. I told
it's
him
a
he has to
perfect
find another place to
example.
live if he doesn't. So
It's a perfect example because he helped
No,
last year and he's coming back this year. So
because again, when you're immersed in that environment and you feel the acceptance and you feel the connection and you feel these guys are in it for the right reasons, and this is a team and there's a reason we do this. It's
Mhm.
really easy to get wrapped up in the of it all.
yeah, that is one of the things about Hell City. You can, even as long as I've been tattooing, as many people as I've had the privilege and honor to meet, and people that I've had the privilege of working with and talking to and connecting through reinventing, I still get starstruck. Like sometimes I'll be in a conversation and I'll be like, I was just fucking
I'm always like, hey, do you know somebody's like, do you know who you're just talking to? And I'm like, Jim.
You're like a guy? I don't.
Bob, that's some water. I just got him some water. I don't know. But that's kind of why I always thought it was kind of cool, because I've always just known my small circle, and Hell City's always been my branch out to others. Like I haven't really, until starting doing the show frequently, I didn't know a lot of people outside of our small little bubble. So I sometimes get embarrassed because I don't know who people are.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know these guys.
Should I know them?
Sorry.
To
That
be
also
fair,
makes it really great to be non-biased when anybody asks me a question, because
yeah. I think it's funny when people meet me and don't even know I'm a tattooer, but like, so you could watch a handful of our shows in a row and not realize I'm a tattooer some episodes. But
I don't know.
sometimes I just like stand around in a conversation and just kind of listen. So
Your old man tattoo.
yeah, sometimes I'm more of a listener than a talker, but then when I start speaking and people are like, "Oh, you're that person." Like,
Yeah.
you caught me.
Well, we were out to breakfast last week and got the, oh bro, I love your tats. As Fawn is like shrinking out the back door.
I'm like, I'm gonna go get in the taco.
I'll see you later. It made me laugh. I don't
That was pretty
tattoo,
funny.
but you should look at our show. Bye. No, it's always a fun conversation, but I think it's hilarious when people always assume that I'm the one. And I'm like, no, actually, that's
I like it like when we were shooting Pool League and me and you and Corey would be together occasionally, and it'd be like the two of us, and then people would automatically assume that Ben's the tattooer and we're the groupie girls following him around for free work.
Absolutely. Or that I was dating either one of you. That happened a lot.
Or
Too.
both.
Or both at the same time. Just bring them to the same party.
That's the crazy tattoo life, man.
That's it. Everybody in the tattoo world lives that lifestyle. Duh.
Not this kid.
Not this kid. We even had somebody on our own team think that we were dating. I'm like, are men and women not allowed to just be friends?
You know what's funny is like, obviously we've talked about it enough on the show. Like you went through a separation over the last couple of years. And
don't put my business out there front. No,
I do feel like sometimes people were like, are you caught in the middle of it? And I'd be like, no, Emily's still my manager. It doesn't have anything to do with me. Like,
right.
love them both.
Here.
None of my
Peanut
business.
Gallery.
Yeah.
That's fun. It's fun.
That was always, and like when I'd like catch it, it'd be like a few minutes after the comment like had been stated, and I'd have to be like, hold on, we got to rewind a second.
Wait,
because I think there's been a misunderstanding.
We all still cool. That's fun. That's fun. So this year, Hell City, what's the one thing you're looking forward to the most?
Okay, you guys are going to hate me for saying this, but it's me, so I'm going to say it. And just because it's honest, the smoking area, not for smoking, because you guys know I smoke regardless of whether there's people to smoke with or not. But what I like about the specific smoking area, once you like leave the Hyatt and you go out that rear door, there's this little like alcove where there's multiple tables, and it's actually like a really nice smoking area. And sometimes you'll walk out those doors and there will be like 2 or 3 people there and it's chill. Other times you walk out those doors and there's 60 people just filling it. And then there will be like world-renowned tattooers where I'm starstruck every time I turn around. Like any group of people I step up to, I might recognize 1 or 2 people. And then there's going to be like 16 people that I'm like, choking over my tongue because they're just standing there. But it's pretty cool because you get collectors, you get tattooers, we get company owners, we have people that have just stumbled into Hell City because they were curious and they've seen the advertisements around Columbus. And to have all of those people tucked in that tiny little area, and all we're doing, and not everybody is smoking weed, like most people are just smoking cigarettes, but like the smoking area is just the coolest little, like, I like the smoking area better than I like hanging out at the bar.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a big drinker. I don't mind having a drink, but that's not how I prefer to spend my social time. So being at the bar reminds me of working in the bar, and I automatically start clearing people's glasses. I feel it's my job to talk to the drunk guy and be like, well,
part of that, Ben, is we talk about it all the time, is manners. Like,
yeah,
I've never worked food. I mean, I did work at a bar and it was a pool hall and we did have a little bit of food, but like that was a very short period of my life. But I still feel the need to like consolidate the mess at least, or you know what I mean? Like stack the glasses, put all the trash.
I will full on
one
neither
little
of our
area.
back. Full on. I'll start just clearing tables, taking them to the wash station. By the end of the night, they're like, do we owe you money? Or it's
I don't.
I just can't. I need a fidget.
So I was going through my phone earlier today and I like duplicated a bunch of stuff from last year on my camera roll and then bounced it over to our Instagram. And as I was looking through the videos from last year, first of all, my hair was super short still. Second of all, Kyle the intern, you should have seen this guy. Like,
do you want me to pull him up?
Just pull him up. Pull up the thing. Some of them are photos, some of them are like, short little videos, but
short little videos.
Yeah. But that was really like so Kyle and I met at Jiminy Peak, but that was the first time Kyle had been to Columbus to kind of like meet everybody, right?
Yeah, this was like right after I moved out here.
So he was still just like quiet and awkward and just like looked at us.
I'm like wearing that same outfit today almost.
It still is. What are you talking about?
The more things change,
the more things stay the same.
Some things never change,
Some things will never change.
See, this is the smoking area. John's awesome.
Right? Yeah, that's yeah.
Was that Sinclair? I can barely see it
Yeah.
because Kyle's got it
Yep.
thumbnail
It's
size.
not, it won't like click on it. It's not going
It's fine,
bigger.
Kyle. It's fine.
You could share portion of screen.
Okay, let me do that.
Jesus, Kyle. It's
Okay.
almost like
We're
Well,
learning
I
as we
thought it
go.
was going to get larger.
I bet if I would have sent them one photo at a time, but there's a whole bunch of them.
No, it's cool. It's
There we go.
Doesn't change your view, but
Yeah, I thought that was like badass, but I was like, oh, they just totally
Yeah, that looks a lot better.
like, let's just like overpower.
good job, Kyle.
So that's Emily, Jordan, Corey. So Emily and Jordan will be getting married in July. I'm pretty excited for them. Stencil area. Oh, there's
that guy's
Killian.
amazing.
Yeah, that's Killian Moon. He's awesome.
There's
Following
Todd's head.
Cookie's backpack. Clearly,
Once again,
the smoking area is my
area.
favorite. But look at this smoking area. It can be downpouring or snowing or anything that happens in Ohio, and it's still a great little area.
We be pleasant. Did you pre-watch
There's been so
these?
much construction.
Is there anything we need to be concerned about?
There's nothing crazy.
Flashes of your driver's license or anything like that?
The art fusion experiment.
Good job, Kyle.
So the art fusion experiment is pretty cool because it is. It's always been. Hold on, Kyle. Hold on. Pause. There we go. So the art fusion experiment is cool because it is like collaborative. It is just a straight collaborative project. We start with 4 or 5 artists and we just kind of rotate through. I think one of the videos is still playing somewhere. I hear Gabe talking.
I'm just gonna blame Kyle.
But so this art fusion experiment, I think, was the bio one. So there's me, Jordan, I believe that's Jeremy. And I can't remember who's on the end in the red.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Is that the one that looked like it was supposed to be one piece once we rearranged them on the table?
I think so. Yep.
The thing was
then
amazing.
There's another one that I participated in that was all female tattooers, which was pretty cool. But this art fusion experiment is neat because these pieces of art, after we're done with them, they are like put up for sale, silent auction style. So anything that you like, you just walk up, write your name and the number you're willing to pay for it. And it's a really just a cool way to collect a piece of art from like really good artists that might not otherwise ever like work side by side or together. So it's pretty cool. I highly recommend standing around and watching. Typically we just do charcoal. Sometimes we'll incorporate pastel colors, but it's
just depends.
It's a pretty cool thing. Yeah, you can see the different thought processes going on from different artists as the artwork is happening. I think it's just a neat thing to watch. It used to be like in an area opposite the stage where it would just go on multiple times a day, but it's actually turned into an event because what was happening is more people were watching the art fusion project than what was going on stage. So it was like, well, we should just make this the main event instead of the secondary thing. So that's
the people spoke. We listened.
Yep, the people spoke. So what this means now is I don't think there are any bands this year at Hell City. I think it's all like art driven things like this. So that should mean for a lot of the tattooers that complain about the loud music while they're working, even though like it's intended more for the crowd, there's not going to be the loud punk or rap or, whatever kind of music has been selected.
We're still doing a bunch of shows. We still got the burlesque going on. We've still got the freak show coming. We've got a bunch of. It's not like the stage is going to be quiet by any means, but we have opted out of live performances. For
Yeah, I
bands,
think it's. I mean, Hell City's got such a cool feel, anyways. Derb takes the time to build a pretty good playlist for the whole weekend. That's pretty eclectic. Another thing that happens at Hell City that doesn't happen at other shows is the art fusion experiment. And Chris Dingwell is doing another thing.
Wet
So like
paint.
in addition, or wet paint, I mean, the wet paint project. So Chris is doing another thing this year where in addition to the like gallery setup that he's done every year where you can actually watch everybody paint and walk up, ask questions, interact, communicate, all the things. There's going to be another room off to the side where pretty much anybody is welcome to join in. It'll be $100 for the weekend, but there are going to be critiques. There's going to be panel discussions.
You're calling it
I'm
an
not
art jam, correct?
Yep. So it'll be like show up, paint, draw when you want, when you feel like it. Like if you're at the show all weekend, it would be worth the $100 to like reserve your seat, and you could come and art jam for an hour or two and then go walk around and then come back down and work on your piece a little more and then go walk around, check stuff out. So it's one of those things where if you sign up for it, I don't believe you're going to be committed to be sitting there for all 3 days in this room. I think you'll be able to come and go as
Nose
you
to the
please, but
grindstone. Paint the whole time.
you will have the privilege of having your work critiqued by amazing artists. So sometimes that critique alone could be worth that $100, just
Right.
because sometimes when somebody looks at your work and they see something and they say it to you, sometimes it clicks and it'll change your art from that point forward. You know, sometimes all it takes is somebody saying, hey, that thing you're doing, try it like this. And boom, you're smooth sailing. You know, sometimes it takes just those little nudges. So the wet paint project is pretty cool. And I think personally, I would rather watch those artists paint than different local bands. I mean, I've been to 1,000 shows, like,
Well,
you know,
it's
I know what
always
to
hard
expect from live music.
because with such a mix of people comes a very large mix of music tastes. And it's hard to please everyone. So when people are like, oh, it was just rock or it was rap or it was, and I don't want to listen to, well, you know, you can't please everybody. So I'm not saying that we've had a big issue about it, but like, it's just one of those things. It's the easy way to please everybody. Everybody's there for art. So broader spectrum entertainment art.
What else is going on?
We have the itinerary pulled up on another tab that we could leaf through if you like.
We can. One of the things I definitely wanted to talk about and mention before we get back into the Instagram stuff is Lauren is actually putting on a broadcasting seminar.
Nice.
So like if you're interested in podcasting, if you're interested in recording and sharing like your tattoo work, if you're interested in basically anything content creating related, it's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to be helping her with that. I'm not really sure what I'm signing myself up for, but I know one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to actually set up 3 complete setups. So we're basically going to show you like 3 budgets and how you can create content on those 3 budgets. So like if you want to make content off of your iPhone, we're basically going to break it down and show you like what things you need to get to make that possible. Because you can, like, I've got my little Shure mic that's a little condenser that plugs right into my iPhone. And then I just got this cord for it so I can like just use my little Shure mic as a handheld. Yeah, look, I got to show you this, Ben. You're going to be proud of this.
Get like 7 or 8 inch gooseneck fucking layers that we can like carry around like fucking Bob Barker? Oh, we're so close.
That's what we can do with this.
That's just little baby stubby though. I want like I want a long one on a stick.
But this one is intended. This one's intended for an iPhone.
No, that's great.
Yeah, it's just got the iPhone plug on it. That's a rad little thing.
That's super rad.
So anyways, I upgraded and got a cord, so I don't need to leave it plugged right into my phone. I can actually use it as a tiny little handheld. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah. So anyways, so
I'd love to have them.
there's going to be three setups that we show. So it'll basically be inexpensive, middle of the road, and then if you want to go all out and be able to make like professional production quality material, then we'll show you what equipment and then kind of give you like a quick rundown of how to set it up and how to use it. Like our setup that we use, for instance, is actually pretty professional. The things that we're missing, we've got some, like our sound could be a little bit better here and there. And then lighting, you know, if we were to add 2 $100 lights, our setup could be a little bit nicer.
Well, we have the lights. We just have never set them up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we tried that one time and then we were just fighting glare off of the TV. So like the TV's awesome, but we kind of realized that it's like TV glowing behind us or lighting. So that's where we're at. But if we were to switch to a different backdrop, as our set and stuff evolves, you know, lighting would be our next improvement.
But the TV's badass.
I mean, you can get that printed on a banner.
I want to print you on a banner now.
Okay.
Yeah, but like sometimes we could actually like utilize the TV in other ways if we chose to. We just throw our stuff up there and leave it, but it's okay. So anyways, if you're going to be around and you are interested in content creating, that one's going to definitely be one worth checking out, because we will break it down, not just like, you know, overwhelming, go spend $10,000, this is what you have to do, but it'll be like a couple $100, few $1,000 full production. So
50K.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, if I would have had somebody starting out, granted with reinventing, we've been doing this for a couple of years now, but when we all started doing this, we were all starting from scratch. I mean, some of us had some equipment, but like we all had to jump down the rabbit hole and learn from scratch. You know, I had to like research what equipment I needed, and then I had to research what equipment was going to be compatible with the other. And then I had to research, you know, I didn't go to school for this, so I need to find the stuff that has the easiest interfaces to understand. So if I would have had somebody that could break things down in a day for me, it probably would have saved me 2 months of doing research and homework on my own. So if you want to be a content creator, if you want to just even make better Instagram videos and TikTok videos and things like that to upload and share, we'll be able to help you with that. If you are wanting to like start a Patreon and start delivering lessons on your technique, you'll definitely want to catch this. You know, anything, basically once you know how to stream, like once you know all of those steps, it's the same from one platform to the next. So for the most part, it's this, I mean, it's not, but it is. Like different platforms have different features, but once you learn how to connect, it's the same.
Once you learn the process, it's how do I run the process with each different platform? So learning the base of what you need to know per platform is half the battle. I know I need sound, video, blah, 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 blah. Whereas opposed to, and then you're just figuring out how to do that on each individual thing. So like having a better understanding, it puts you light years ahead.
There's going to be so many people attending too that like, you just got to come this year. It's going to be a great year. We're going to have so many cool things going on.
The pre-game hype today was real. Like it's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good show.
I don't have any reason to believe it wouldn't be.
I just think we've got a lot of new things coming this year. We've got a lot of resets, redesigns, different things in different areas. It's a different show this year. It's gonna be good. Try not to give too much away.
It's definitely going to be bigger. It's been 2 levels for a few years now, but the second level is bigger. It's going to be much bigger.
We're all over the place.
All I'm pretty excited. I mean, last year I feel like I ran and ran and ran and ran and ran. So like if it's bigger,
That is kind of,
Kyle?
I don't want to say the beauty of being on the AV team, but I'm supposed to be in one spot all the time. I don't have to run around a bunch. It is kind of very, very beneficial.
I was going to tell Kyle to wear his running shoes. Is he going to need them?
I'm gonna need new ones.
Counting roller skates. This boy's gonna.
That's
get
actually a
leg
great
day.
idea. Can we
Leg
get
day
Kyle
every
some
day.
Heelys?
I used to have a pair of Heelys.
I've looked at Heelys, and then they all have like 180-pound weight limit. I'm like, do you make these in men's sizes? Because that's what I want.
They do make adult size.
No, I'm talking like,
Yeah.
men's size. The
Well,
ones
I
I'm
mean, to
looking
be
at were
fair,
adult shoe sizes, but for
One's tiny
half
axle
them.
this big.
Are you calling me fat, Fawn?
No, I'm just saying it's
Saying I'm
one
a
tiny
half.
axle this big. It's like you're
I'd pay
trusting your
extra for a
entire weight
sturdier
on
axle.
like.
I think they make training wheels for those too. So if you need those, then like a pair.
No.
Extra support, I don't know.
No. I'm bringing my blades back this year. Roller blade
Do it.
all up. in
I
that
support
bitch.
that.
You wear your blades. I'll wear some quad skates. We'll make fools of ourselves together.
I only have to move like 10 feet for the majority of the day. Skates would just be ouch. But yeah, it'd be fun for like setup day.
The
I
setup
drop
day
a
would be good to
speaker.
have wheels.
So I drop a speaker going too fast, break a $300
know what we need?
speaker.
I mean, I know there are I know we've got like little flat trucks and things like that to move things. I know we've got little carts and we've got like little platforms with casters on them. But you know what we really need? Do you guys remember third
carts.
grade? Do you remember the square little wheelie
Yes.
scooter things with the handles on the side? And if you
Yes.
just didn't hold on to it just right, you'd roll over your pinky.
Uh-huh.
That's
those,
what we
those
need.
are called furniture dollars. They make them. You can buy them at the majority of the stores for like $5 a pop.
Yes, but they don't roll as fast.
Well, you got to juice them up.
Loosen a couple bearings
Come on.
first.
Yeah, put a little WD in there. Put a little graphite grease.
Mm-hmm.
Get shit running.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to
Get
pull
it
up
over.
some more of those pictures I sent over? Pictures,
Come on,
videos?
Kyle.
I
Pull
mean,
the things
I'm just
up.
excited.
Pull
Now that
things up.
we're talking about it in detail like this, it really starts feeling real that Hell City's like literally right around the corner.
Yeah, there's a rich history to tattooing. Do you watch?
Oh, her
do you
work's
follow the
beautiful.
Archaeology tattooing.
I don't. Send me the link.
I will.
Oh, Todd.
Fascinating stuff
Oh yeah.
I missed you already.
to the process of tattooing.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a rich.
I mean,
Todd is, I think, going to Empire. He was texting me this morning. He was bummed out that Megan wasn't going to be there. There's Russ. We had some impromptu discussion with Russ and Forrest.
he's so cute.
Russ, word on the street, Russ is coming again this year too. So, like I said, that's word on the street. I would love to see Russ, and it was really cool to hang out with Russ last year because he wasn't actually working the show. He and his
Right.
wife Beth just like showed up, and they were talking about some of the new technology he's been working on with Tattoo Smart. Forrest and he were showing off some of the new skins that they were just working on.
Nice. Yep. I remember he gave me a brief like in the hall rundown, like check this out. It was cool. It was cool just catch up with him. Because we had just got done doing an episode with him right before Hell City last year.
Yep.
Look at me remembering shit,
Good
Kyle.
job.
At some point, Russ was like, I'd love to check out Red Tree sometime. I was like, it's only like 3 minutes away, Russ. Like, I'll take you. And he was like, you'll take us? I was like, yeah, sure. Well, if you don't mind getting in Vandango, I pulled the seats out of it. So Russ and Beth get in Vandango. They're sitting all the way in the back. So I'm literally chauffeuring them because it only had the
Bench
futon seat is like a bench seat in the back. So they're back there and Russ like looks around and he's like, it's been a long time since I've been in a van of this vintage. I was like, thanks, Russ. Thanks. So it's made me feel a little bit warmer about Vandango ever since.
No, look at Todd.
I think that's a great picture of Todd. It looks really thoughtful.
Mhm.
Like he's
Deep in thought
deep
there.
thought. I want to pinch his cheek.
Oh, that was Russ and Forrest that we didn't commentate on.
There you go. Yeah, I was talking to Nick anyway.
Oh, I remember this piece. It's the like crazy Santa looking zombie, Nick
Huh.
Mitchell there.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
Electric gold stuff, and then from Kingpin, solid 8, the whole set of solid.
In the back of my head.
None of this is computer science related.
Well, that's not me.
Robert White, thank you very much. I owe you. You have younger eyes. And
Normally that's
lots of
right where I
things
am.
than I have.
There's
Someone who looks like
Dave
you.
Lonvis up there.
This is, oh yeah, this is apparently a pretty.
Well, this must be either tattoo of the day or that must be best of show. I bet that's best of show.
I think it was best to show, yeah.
Best of show.
From Cheyenne, and it's the Nova Unlimited, so the Soul Nova Unlimited machine. And I'll put that in there.
Yep. It's definitely best of show. They're just like lined up giving
From
awards.
Cheyenne, and
Awesome.
it's the Nova.
Good job,
Some
Kyle.
conventions have great awards. And then the prizes, like the awards themselves are awesome, but the prizes that go along to the winners of like tattoo of the day and best of show, sometimes they're cash prizes. A lot of times there are machines in there. At Hell City, there are Cheyenne machines. I believe there's going to be Cheyenne machines this year too. Sometimes there's ink sets. Sometimes there's like mega aftercare packs. So like in addition to like the collectors, we talk about the collectors wanting to win these awards and the best overall, but for the artists, you know, they're working all weekend on these projects, trying to win, being competitive.
Right.
And sometimes there's a lot more to it than just the trophy. Like you've got the trophy, that's what you have to show off, but there's sometimes thousands of dollars worth of prizes that go with those like best of show kind of awards. I mean, just a Cheyenne machine, that's not cheap. That's over $1,000 right there
Nice.
in one little box. I remember one year they were giving away Waterloo toolboxes. Those are $500 to $800 a pop. Like,
Yeah.
so in addition to the trophies and the plaques and the like, you know, the notches, if you will, it's pretty cool because these artists get set up with really good equipment and really good products to try out. So
Fawn, let me ask you a question. If I were a collector coming to be in these competitions, what are some of the things that, like, as a collector, you should be aware of, and like what you would need to prep, or how what's the best way to come to be involved?
for competitions,
Yeah.
like to give your artist like the best chance to win some of these
Or
awards,
just, I mean, like some couths, some tips, some tricks.
shave the area so that the judges can get a good look at the tattoo, moisturize so that it's nice and clear and crisp. Maybe don't be stinky.
That's all.
Maybe
That's just
if-
that life, you know. Can we just throw that
maybe-
in? Like, it's a daily rule.
Mhm.
Maybe if possible, like if you care about covering your bits and pieces, wear the appropriate underwear to cover the bits and pieces.
Bits covered.
Yeah, sometimes there are accidental slips. I mean, if you're just competing nude or mostly nude, it is what it is. But sometimes people will get up on stage and they want to be modest and things fall out of the modesty garment.
That's when a quick camera shift happens.
I feel like you know
malfunction on
exactly, you know
level
exactly
3.
the incident I'm talking about. It wasn't
Yeah,
a
we
nip
had some
slip.
low-lying
Let's just
fruit
say it like
last year
that.
that needed to happen. Some people needed to, you know, address, you know, let's just say.
We all handled it like adults, though. First of
No,
all,
we didn't. I laughed my ass off. I thought it was fucking hilarious because I am 12.
Mm.
Legit.
To be fair, I think the collector in question, I don't think he was real embarrassed. I think he was for it.
With
It was
so
fine.
much chaos going on this on the stage at the time, with that many people up there, no one noticed except for the people that were had the ability to
Absolutely.
zoom in.
The judges,
So,
only
yeah,
the judges noticed.
you had to be pretty close. It's still just
Yeah.
kind of a lot of skin on the stage. It didn't like stand out, you know.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
it was a
man.
good time. Made me laugh.
Appropriate undies.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get a
Man.
hammock and just make sure I got it on deck. Just in case.
One of
That's a
So
banana hammock,
this is
Kyle.
gonna be
Yeah,
weird.
I
This is
know.
something I haven't really talked about before, but like when I compete on and I'm like sharing my collection and I'm just like literally wearing just a thong, like I'll put little tape over my nippies, but like I'm nude. I like that's just like I have a little triangle
On the
covering
tickets sell
anything.
themselves. You don't need to help.
So, anyways, what I was gonna say is when I am that exposed and vulnerable in front of a crowd of people, I sweat like crazy. So like
Bring a
maybe that
towel.
day, well, you could either bring a towel or just like put your antiperspirant or deodorant on like right before you go on stage or right before you undress to go on stage. And this
You're
isn't
allowed to
something
bring a
like,
small bag with you too, people. Like no one's
yeah.
gonna, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, I usually set like I'll take my clothes off. I'll put like my jean shirt, shoes right in a little stack and tuck it either like on the corner of the stage or just below the corner of the stage. Nobody is going to mess with anything. Like it's fine. Like there's enough people looking out that nobody's going to mess with anything that shouldn't. But the thing I'm saying is this isn't even like for like, it's rude to not do this or anything. It's just like after talking to Andrea, we've had her on the show with she's got the geometric collection. I think she came in third. I've got pictures of it, but I think she came in third last year. For best overall female. But she and I privately have had the conversation of like, man, isn't it crazy how like you get like the nervous sweats when you're like that? Like it's not just like standing up there with goosebumps. It's like you've got the nervous sweats and you're hot and you've got goosebumps and you're jittery and you feel judged because you're being
Because
judged.
you're being judged. Well, it's a huge
Like all the
dopamine
things.
drop too. So
Yeah. So in talking with Andrea and then in talking with the ink shrink, he and I had a pretty good conversation the other day on Instagram. I think it's one of those things that like even as a collector and as a competitor, I forget how uncomfortable I'm going to be. So like some advice to other collectors, go at like whether you wear deodorant or whether you don't wear deodorant, whatever, maybe right before you go on stage, put some on just so it's one less thing to be nervous about. You know what I mean? Because
Yep.
sometimes when you're sweating, you then become self-conscious, like, oh no, man, I'm naked and I smell like an onion. And then,
What's that? Philly cheese steaks? Lots of
yeah, the
onions and
judges
beef.
sometimes get close, especially like I have my armpits tattooed. So they're getting their face like 4 inches away from my pits. So I try to use like a invisible 24-hour solid, but I'll put it on like 10 minutes before I go on stage just to make me more comfortable. Like nobody's ever said, hey, Fawn, you smell like an onion, but like I know what my nervous sweat is like. And I know like I don't care for the smell of it. I don't imagine anybody else would. So that's not even for like the sake of anybody else, but you as the collector when you're competing, that might help you be just have one less thing to be self-conscious about while you're in front of a room full of 20, 50, 70, a couple hundred people looking at you, plus
Something to think about as
broadcasting.
well is that the time it takes to go through your category can be a while. Be prepared to be at the stage for 45 minutes sometimes. These
Yeah, if it's like
competitions,
large color or large black and gray, it's a lot of entries.
they go forever.
And
So
sometimes at Hell
delightful.
City and some of the big competitions, it'll actually go in heats. So it'll be like 25 or 30 people on stage, maybe less. Whoever's running will kind of call the shots about how many people are up there. But, one heat will take several minutes. And then there could be 2 or 3 or 4 heats in one category. And then you take the best 3 or 4 from each of those, and then you judge all of those down. And then that last one where you've got like 3 or 4 or 5 heats worth of people, and it's all phenomenal work. It's all A+ quality work, but you got to pick out the piece that's like D1. It gets hard. It gets really hard being a judge in those situations. But
And that's why I eat popcorn and watch.
Liar, you're holding the camera, zooming in. Who's
Yeah,
doing
that's
camera
true.
this year? If you're in the AV area.
We're probably going to rotate it between a couple different people.
Okay, nice.
Because yeah, I think between Brian and I, one of us is going to be at the board the whole time this year. So, which is amazing. It's kind of cool to do something different point of view. Give somebody else the best seat of the house.
It really is the best seat. I mean, I know you've always been kind of locked there most of the shows, at least during the competition hours.
That's fine.
But
I got to see a lot of tattoos.
yeah, you've gotten to see close up firsthand more beautiful tattoo work than most people in the world. Like,
Concur.
that's a pretty neat thing.
Privilege.
Well,
Bye,
who are
Brian.
you guys?
Love
Who are
ya.
you waving at?
Good to see
Brian's
ya.
wrapping it up. He's getting out of here.
You can't just wave at Brian. It's like 45-minute minimum to say goodbye to him.
No,
First
that
of
was
all.
it. We've been talking all day.
Okay, you started your goodbye at 3.
Yes. We're good. Is there anything else you want to touch on as far as the show? Do you want to look at some of the categories? Do you want to do anything like that?
Yeah, if you've got a list of the categories handy, that would be cool to give a rundown.
I'd ask Kyle to cue it up 13 times, so we'll see. We'll see.
This one?
Yes,
That's
that
good.
one.
Could you not talk to our intern like you're an irritated father?
I mean, if you quit doing irritating kid shit, sure. So can are we the only ones that can see that?
It's sharing.
Nope, he's
No,
screen
no.
sharing it.
I mean, you don't have to. We'll just read what we want to read. That way, nobody will see the whole thing. So
Oh,
essentially, let's see here. On Thursday, it's all just setup stuff. Wait, make it work, Kyle.
We'll be sharing for at least 45 minutes or an hour on Thursdays. If you guys care to tune in and see the pre-show show. I really like showing what the floor looks like before everybody gets in there and it's all filled up, because I think, like you were saying at the beginning of the show tonight, it's kind of like magic to go from this huge open ballroom and this sprawling carpet that you have to like bang, and you hear it bounce and echo off of all the walls, to literally in what, 24, 36 hours, it goes from
Well, AV starts
Enough.
on Wednesday. Everybody else starting up on Thursday. Friday at noon, we're live.
so in about 36 hours,
Right.
it completely transforms into not just a convention, but like it's a convention. It's got lighting, it's got banners like that hang from the ceiling, really cool
Vending
stuff.
spaces.
Yeah, vending spaces galore. Honestly, I don't think we've really talked about the vendors at all.
There's a
But
ton of vendors this year.
I don't know if I've ever been to a show that has as many vendors as Hell City. And it's crazy because I've been present for so many conversations where more vendors want to get in. Like there are shows where it seems like it's like pulling teeth to get vendors to sell merchandise outside of tattooing. And
Well, when you have
at
pretty
Hell
much
City,
a built-in crowd and people that have vended at Hell City in the past know the amount of traffic that it gets, and that in itself is worth its value. So it looks like Friday we've got we open up at noon, and then we've got looks like just a bunch of art related events happening throughout the day, and then like the stage show starts at around 4. Or I'm sorry, it's 6. And then we've got burlesque shows and the freak show at 7. And then the tattoo competitions on Friday would start at 8.
you went past it, but I didn't realize that Derb was going to be airing the Hell City documentary on the main stage.
Yep, we show it pretty much every year.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was going to be on the main stage. So,
Yep.
I mean, maybe
Love
it was last year. Remember when it used to be in a room by itself and it would just loop the whole
Yep.
weekend? That would be my chilling spot. I'd just go and like kick back in the back row and just listen to Marty Holcomb's voice, like lull me into relaxation.
So Friday's competitions are best Asian, best new school, best biomech, best abstract or geometric, best traditional, best hand or foot, and best of the day. So it's a hefty Friday.
What do we have going on after the awards? Do we have any after
Um,
parties or anything going on?
Hell
The
City
Hellions
Hellions
rest their
Store
souls.
Big Bar begins at 11, but there's pretty much an after party every night at the Big Bar. That's
Yeah.
kind of like the unwind spot for the artists that have been working all day. It's a good chance to mingle, walk into
The
some
after party
like-minded
just like
people.
it like sprawls from the Big Bar out to the smoking area. Like it's one like ebb and flow between the two. Like I'm not like
No,
it
it's
really
true.
is like that. Yep. You can bring your drinks outside and it's really pretty wonderful.
All right. So Saturday again, we start at noon. We've got fine art, wet paint, and tattoo competition registration all start right off the rip. First thing on main stage is Art Fusion, which is a lot of fun to watch. Then we're playing the documentary again. Then burlesque again at 6 to 7 to where the freak show would begin. And then we'll start tattoo competitions again at 8 on Saturday. The categories for competitions on Saturday are best small color, best black and gray, most unusual, best arm or leg sleeve, best back piece or chest panel, worst tattoo, and tattoo of the day. After that, what do? We hand out things. Art and collectors, artist, collector, and tattoo enthusiasts have a drink and draw. That should be pretty cool. A chance to sit and hang out and enjoy a beverage.
I believe is Guy beaming in for the drink and draw, Kyle?
I believe he is.
Dun,
Yes.
dun, dun.
So yeah, if you actually want to like participate and like virtually hang out with Guy, it usually turns into like a biomech evening, but you're welcome to join and draw anything. Like you don't there's no prerequisite. Just show up ready to be creative
Nice.
and drink.
And draw.
I mean, I guess you don't even have to drink, but it is called a sip and draw. So, you know. All right. So Sunday, once again, we start at noon. And at noon, again, the fine art gallery and wet paint will start. Contests, competition registration will start at noon as well. Art Fusion main stage at 1. Burlesque starts at 3. Tattoo competitions start at 5. Tattoo competitions for Sunday are best large color, best large black and gray, best portrait, best overall female, best overall male, artist of the show, best wet painter, best booth display. Ooh, I like that. Tattoo of the day. So it sounds like all the heavy hitting stuff is Sunday. Ooh,
Yeah,
Sunday.
Sunday's usually definitely the heavy hitting day for competitions. And like unless you're actually getting tattooed, I think Sunday has a lot of the like collector oriented things. Like that's where like those of us that are working on our bodysuits and things like that, those are the days that we kind of get together and just kind of like chum around all day and yeah.
I don't want to say it's the slower day, but it's the most relaxed day. People have really fallen into the groove. Most people that had big projects are either wrapping them up or have already wrapped them up. And it's a good chance to catch people in the relax mode right before they got to pack up and get everything done. Sunday is always my favorite day. But yeah, Hell City in a nutshell. Un, deux, trois.
All right. Well, I don't know if there's particularly anything that we need to talk about other than that today. I definitely have. So I have an idea. This will definitely be after Hell City and after things settle down a little bit. But I was thinking about getting a whole bunch of like heavy bodysuit collectors together and having a panel discussion, like way back when we did the biomech night. I want to do a panel discussion of that nature where we have a whole bunch of people join us. And I want to talk about like modesty specifically and like that that thing that we all have to kind of swallow in order to collect these big suits. Like it's easy to sit down and get your arm tattooed or your leg tattooed, but once you have to start taking off your shirt to get tattooed as a woman, or once you have to start
Inner
taking off your
thigh.
pants to get tattooed as a man or
As
woman,
anyone.
there are
As
definitely
anyone,
just
anybody
some,
that's uncomfortable with their body, which is why a lot of people get tattooed, is to make them more comfortable in their own skin. So
Mhm.
having that uncomfortable brief moment where you have to take that deep breath and relax and feel the non-judgment and understand that you're around family, and that takes a second.
Yep. So-
Especially if you're not a heavy collector.
So sometime in the very near future, I will be organizing, or we will be organizing a panel. I would love to have Andrea on again. I'd love to have the ink shrink on again.
Nice.
You know, we haven't heard from Todd in a while, but he also hasn't gotten much new
Easy.
tattoo work. But I think it would be awesome to have Todd join us for that show, because I think, you know, once you start getting the below the belt areas covered,
Filled.
or yeah, not to say like it's a special club that has their butt cheeks tattooed, but
It's
like,
a dedication. There becomes a point where your tattoos all start to link together and they're cohesive pieces that bleed
Mhm.
into each other, as opposed to you have a few.
or getting
we-
tattooed at shows. Like I got tattooed at Hell City topless with Adam and Ty working on me. We
Right.
had like a huge crowd of people watching immediately right there. Then there was a whole nother row of people watching up on the balcony. You know, like I just had to close my eyes and pretend they were not staring at me. They were
Right.
only watching Adam and Ty. I was not a part of that equation. I was wrong, but that's what I
But-
had to tell myself. But I think that's one of those things that, you know, we talk about the cost of getting tattooed often. We talk about the pain, we talk about the inconvenience of traveling, but there's this real thing where those of us that are shy or timid or modest or have body image issues,
Right.
you know, it's not comfortable for us to be nude in front of anybody,
Especially a
sometimes
crowd.
anybody at all. But then to be nude, for instance, for me to be totally nude with Russ, like that's somebody who I incredibly look up to. Like it's a weird idea to be like stark naked in front of somebody that you admire and
Yeah.
respect to that degree. But meanwhile, I'm like, he's married. He's seen this all before, you know,
Well,
like
it's
in
not
my
even
mind, I'm
that.
like, this isn't new to him. This
Well-
is quit being weird. He's a professional. And Russ was a complete gentleman and only made me feel comfortable. And it was as uncomfortable as I was and as uncomfortable as it could have been. Russ and his entire team were awesome to work with, even in that vulnerable condition, you know. And Russ being Russ, anything he's doing, he's teaching his whole shop. So not only am I nude for Russ, I'm nude for everybody in the studio.
Right.
So that's something that when I started collecting heavily, it didn't really occur to me that I would put myself through that level of discomfort. And it's just something that we don't touch on a lot. And I think it's something that they don't really talk about a lot in tattooing. Like I mean, I guess I get it sometimes. Sometimes I'll get comments from people that maybe make assumptions because I'm heavily tattooed that, you know, I must have enjoyed that or I must like that kind of attention, when if you actually know me, like I have clothes on all the time.
Not even that. You're extremely private about your personal life. So
Yeah.
like there's things that we express through tattooing that we don't necessarily express on the day to day. And that's why being in the environment like Hell City and having that all encompassing, like, no, we're all here for the right reasons and here for the same things. It's what makes that comfort so much more.
Yep.
And being at the shop and having one leg out and, you know, all that, it gets to a point where it's just not natural. And you don't feel, even if in a room full of people, you know, it just gets to an awkward stage that you have to be mindful of, even if you're completely comfortable like that. So I don't know. It's
Yep.
just it's a different ballgame.
Yep. But so I think in the very near future, that's going to be, I think that'll actually be a really good discussion. And like I said, I'd love to get a whole group of like heavily tattooed, close to bodysuit kind of collectors on, and just kind of see where that conversation takes us.
Love it.
But yeah, I don't have a specific date set up for that, but sometime in the near future that'll be coming. And then
Good teaser
after
for 'em.
Health City, I feel like we should start touching base with our friend Chris Taylor on a pretty regular basis
Yeah.
because, you know, we get equally as excited for the Indie Tattoo Expo. So, and Chris, I mean, he's working so hard on his show. The first one was good. The second one was even better. So I'm just excited to see what he's coming up with and the like next level he's going to bring it to.
Love it.
Indy is not as big as Health City, but man, I feel like it's like the
Well
sibling
done.
to.
It's
It's
very
like
well
the sibling
done.
to Health City.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Chris
very well
does a
done.
great job. His team is wonderful. So outside of that, a couple
Well, next
teasers for after Health City, and then we've
next
got
week's
Health
gonna
City.
be all crazy. So tune in next week as we run around and try to catch everybody up to what we do and what we see and all that stuff.
All right.
Should be
Well,
good. Go push the
Kyle's
buttons,
leaving the
Kyle.
stage.
Go push the buttons, Kyle.
All right. Well, everybody who took the time to join us tonight, thanks for joining in, and be sure to join us next week. We'll give you more of kind of, it's almost like an unofficial backstage pass, or maybe the official backstage pass of Hell City.
I think it is the official one.
You might be right.
I
It
think we
probably
are.
is the
I'm just
official
gonna claim
backstage
it now.
pass.
I'll ask the
All
boss.
right.
We'll get authority.
I don't think he'll say no.
I don't think he would either.
All right, guys.
fine.
Well, thanks
Stay
for
safe.
putting all the hard work in and connecting everything, Kyle. We always forget to thank you, but I do appreciate you. You are
Good
an
job,
incredibly integral part of this, or integral part of this show, and you do the things that I am not good at all. So,
Good job, buddy.
Thank you. I
Yep.
appreciate it.
all right, guys. Well, we'll check back next week. See ya.
Safe travels. Call me.
Always.
Bye.